very much. Oh, sorry, yes. My pleasure to be here with you. And let me give you a hug. Thank you, of course. And to all of you and to all the pastors, I am delighted to be here. My name is Maria Salazar. I represent the city of Miami, district number 27 in the state of Florida. And I am delighted to not only be here, but be surrounded by people that believe in the Judeo-Christian values that this nation was based upon. And I am delighted to know that the Lord Almighty has given you favor and grace for my piece of legislation. We wrote years ago and just presented the support of many of my colleagues, one of them being here, that I'm delighted that he just won his primary. Yes. Marlon Stutzman, and I'm delighted, and because he supported dignity from the very beginning, and we were all concerned that maybe his constituents were not going to understand what this bill says. Basically, what we're saying, dignity is a biblical word. I know that the Lord influenced me on naming that piece of legislation with a biblical verse, because we are a nation that it supports not only the faith, but the families. You all know that what's happening right now with our immigration enforcement has created a great distress among many families in this country and the church. Yes. Many of the churches in the Hispanic areas have seen that probably 50% of their attendance is down. 50% of the attendance, and there are terrible statistics and numbers that we have been hearing about, where like in 3 or 4 years, if we continue with the same immigration practices that we've had right now, almost 1 million children who were born in the United States, 1 million children will not be living with one of their parents any longer because they will be removed from the country. So we're talking about that 1 million American children will not be with one of their parents because those parents are illegals. We know that there are millions and millions of illegals in this country who broke the law. We agree. Yes. We agree that many of them, the overwhelming majority of them, do not have a criminal record. So for that reason, I thought that maybe we could come up with a Solomonic solution, like King Solomon in the Bible, where we broke the baby into two. So we're not giving those illegals who broke the law path to citizenship. They will never become an American citizen. But we're going to give them the dignity status, where they can have a dignified life in the promised land, where they can stay in the country, they can pay a fine, they will not be able to claim any of the federal programs, but they will be able to raise their American children. They will be able to continue contributing with the economy in those 5 sectors that are key: construction, hospitality, agricultural, manufacturing, and healthcare. We're talking about almost 30% of our economy is in the hands of people of labor-intensive sectors that need those hands. So this is not only a dignifying bill for those Christians, it's also an economic bill for those sectors that need a stable labor force. And I am delighted that the evangelical family, or the National Association of Evangelicals, with you, Pastor, and many of the others leading the charge, have considered and they have identified the Dignity Act as one of those legislation, or the legislation that could solve the problem in a Solomonic way. Marlon and myself, we have, and many others, 20 of our colleagues who have had the fortitude to support the Dignity Act publicly. We have been under attack because they accuse that we are giving them, the illegals, amnesty. Amnesty is, what is amnesty? Amnesty is path to citizenship. Well, the Dignity Bill doesn't have that. Amnesty is to give them a free ride. That Dignity doesn't have that. If amnesty means that they do not have to pay for their crimes, Dignity doesn't do that. It's, the devil confuses you with fear and with great lack of knowledge. Yes. And that is exactly what's happening here. There is so much lack of knowledge and lack of understanding, or not wanting to face the facts, because unfortunately the dark forces that do not want this nation to continue prospering. That's why I'm delighted that you, the pastors, you came on Sunday and you rededicated this great nation founded on Judeo-Christian values. So Listen, it's in the hands of two entities, God the Father and Donald Trump. Amen. God the Father on earth and Donald Trump on earth. And I know, Pastor, that you have a great relationship with our president, that I've told him every time I've seen him that the Lord saved him in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me if who else could have just made him turn his head right in that millisecond and save his life. Right. So the Lord put him back on in the Oval Office. So like you said, the Lord is the only one, and I keep on saying it. And once again, I send the message to our president, whom we support. You are the only person on earth that could have the political fortitude and have favor and grace in your heart given by the Lord Almighty to sign this bill into law and to transform this country and bring it back, because we're sending a very clear message to those families, millions of families who are Christians. And we will stop the largest forced deportation of Christians in the history of the United States if we sign this into law. So thank you for giving me the opportunity, to all of you. And once again, the only one who can get this done is the powers of heaven, by bringing favor and grace to our politicians, like what happened with Congressman that just won his primary, and his constituents rewarded him by him being one of the very few ones from the very beginning, from a very difficult sector, and they rewarded him. So thanks again, and let's keep on praying. And may the Lord give favor and grace once again to our president and to the rest of Congress. We're calling on Congress to take the initiative of saving this nation. And I thank you again.
Thank you so much.